Stars win! We go into this game out Ben, Hintz, Como, Sagan, Bishop, Kiviranta. We're going into our third game and we're missing a lot of bodies already. Going into this season, we knew that we were going to need people coming in and out of the lineup because this is going to be condensed. And then once, our season got pushed back an extra 8 days, we knew it was going to become that much tougher, more trying on each player's body. We got Rick Garner making his debut. Caro's playing for his second game in a row. And Pissick got moved up to forward. Hanley jumps in on D. That's how we're looking for this one versus Detroit. Let's get into it. We start this one. It was a fairly slow pace first period. A few minutes in, Alexiak takes it down, dangles a little bit, puts a backhand on Grace. He stops it. A few minutes later, Dellandrea comes in. He works it to the net, and Cogliano gets a shot on a fairly open net because Grace is down, and he raises it just over the crossbar, so it stays out, and it's still 0-0. The Stars going to power play. We had a few shots, but they don't look crazy dangerous. 8.5 minutes in, Detroit still doesn't have a shot on net. Jamel Smith, former Star, chases it after a dump chase, passes it behind the net. Hyros. I've heard it pronounced like 3 different times in the last 24 hours, so I don't really know exactly. But he went to pass it back, and it went off, or pass it out, and it went off of Haskinen's skate right to Nemestikov, and he fires a backhand through Hudobin's 5-hole. It's 1-0 Detroit on Detroit's first shot. Like a minute later, Detroit breaks up a rush. Caro's pass gets broken up, and they go on a 2-on-1. Fed to Larkin. Doesn't look like he got a full piece of it, so it was kind of a slow trickler. But Dobie sees it in time and gets his pad on it, denies it, keeps it out. Detroit, with a few minutes left, actually takes the lead in shots over Dallas at 4-3. Yeah, 4-3. 2 minutes to go. With about a minute left, Gurionov rushes in on the left wing, and he takes it and goes past out front for Dellandrea. And he doesn't quite stop fast enough and gets a little bit of helpful push. Didn't look like a hard one, but it definitely didn't help his case. And he clips Grace, Stars go on the kill, and they stay on the kill to start the second period. Dallas does a pretty decent job at killing the penalty. Detroit continues after that power play that they had, looking like they had a little bit more control of the play there for a bit. Dobie looked pretty good though, and he kept the rest out. Well, the Stars started going again. Dowling then makes a good rush in, creates a good chance, gets between the defenders, rips one, doesn't quite beat Grice, but there's a good chance. I love to see that. He played juniors in my hometown growing up, so I like Dowling just a little bit extra. I feel like I'm a little biased towards him, so I like seeing him create chances. But Dallas goes on a power play again, just under 15 minutes to go in the second. And off the draw comes to Gurionov, who passes it up to Klingberg, who starts walking the line like he does. And he hesitates, shoots, and then shoots it back to the right as he's going left. And it goes past everyone, including Grace, in the net. Now it's a 1-1 game, baby. Let's go. It was a beautiful shot. It was a typical Klinger type shot / goal, walking that line, finding its way to the net, and in, great job. Second period, the contact and everything started picking up a little bit, started getting a little more physical. Dallas go on another power play. They wouldn't be successful on that one, so they missed a couple now in this game. Weird. It's weird how we just come to expect them to score on all of them, right? But we end up finishing the second period 1-1. The physicality as the game went on picked up and intensified, so I can only imagine what it's going to look like next game and throughout the rest of the season. But we get into the third. Detroit gets a good chance. Dobie makes a really great save. He anticipated it perfectly, and actually a little help to Miro. His stick just happened to be in a good place and it slowed it down, but it was another slow trickler on Hudobin. But he was there, he got it dealt with, got it saved, and the boys were cleared it. This was definitely not one of those high-octane offense type games, and we've seen a lot of those so far to start the season from all over. This was a lot lower octane when it comes to offense. With about 4 minutes left in the third period, Detroit does go on a power play. It made me a little bit nervous because it's still the 1-1 game. They get a couple good looks. Dobie gets the right pad, or a great double chance by Rasmus. I say that because it was a nice pass across. He got the pad on the first save, or the first shot, and he got the pad on the rebound as well. Kept it out. Detroit would then end up icing it, and they had some tired boys. I figured Stars would do it. They didn't push as hard, so we end up going to overtime. Stars do what they normally do. They start their more defensive line in overtime to kind of weather the storm of the other team's starter line, and then they come out there with the next line as Klingberg, Gurionov, and Dickinson. Well, they get the puck. They go in. Klingberg gets the puck from Gurionov, who will pick up his second assist on this play. He gets a puck from Gurionov, does his walk again, does a toe drag, loses it briefly, picks it back up. Dickinson pops back out top, kind of like what Kivi Ranta did for his third goal against Colorado to clinch that series. He pops out top, Klinger finds him, and he pops it in. Stars win. That's 3-0, baby, to start the season. I'll be honest, it's a little closer than I would have hoped it to be, but with us being down hints now as well as Ben and Kivi Ranta, and like I said, obviously we haven't had Sagan or Como or Bishop yet, but it's adding up already, and it was good to see boys still pulled through. Everyone played a solid game. Delandria again, like the commentator said, he looks as good as you can look, and as without getting any points. Like, he's just doing everything very well, and he's working very hard every shift. And I like that. You need that. They're very good. They help keep the energy going even when times are tough in a game or during stretches of a season. And that's a thing. Another thing, like a guy like Radulov, when he scores, he goes crazy. Or like even when the team scores, he doesn't even have to be a part of it. He goes crazy. But it's just his energy is so contagious to the rest of the group, and it energizes everyone else and gets the rest of the group going. And that's really exciting to see, that we got a young guy that's played 3 games, and every shift he's playing it like it might be his last. I think that's awesome. Let's get into the postgame. Hudobin gets the win in this one. He saved 20 of 21 for a .952 save percentage, 1 goals against. The Stars have now allowed 3 goals in 3 games, so they're averaging only 1 against a game. That's pretty good if you ask me. I think, I mean, it's still early, small sample size, but it's a good start. Grice saved 20 of 22 for a .909 save percentage. They're saying Grice, every game that he's played, his team has only scored 1 goal. That sounds kind of familiar to how it was for Hudobin there for a while. So hopefully, I hope for Thomas Grice's sake that he gets a little bit more goal support. Hopefully that doesn't come when they're playing Dallas. So if he does play on Thursday, I hope he can win another game. Shots in the first were 6-6. They were even across the board. Like I said, it was kind of a slower period. The second period, it was 6-11. That's kind of when pace of the game itself started picking up. It got a little more physical. People were grinding a little bit more. And then the third period, it was kind of physically defensive, if that makes sense. The shots were 9-4 in favor of Detroit. So that's the first period that Detroit had more shots. And then overtime, there was just the 1 shot by your Dallas Stars. That was Jason Dickinson, who prodded that home. The face-offs were in favor of Detroit, 27-25. Power plays were in favor of the Stars. They went 1 for 4. Detroit went 0 for 3. So the Stars' penalty kill still looks really good. The hits were 22-18. Most of those came in the last 2 periods. And the shots were 22-21 in favor of Dallas. So it was actually a fairly close game. We were missing a good chunk of people. Detroit, they played a fairly good game. Grice played really well. I guess we'll get into my player of the game. My player of the game for this game, I'm going to give it to Klingberg. Obviously, he had the goal that tied the game up, and he had the primary assist on the game winner. Both times he was the key guy in both goals, so I can't really sit here and give it to anyone else. I'm going to do an honorable mention again with this one. Gurionov gets his first and second assist of the season, so now he's got 2 goals and 2 assists. I just thought I'd point that out because I've heard a lot of people and all sorts of different media and all that saying that he's nothing but a goal scorer, and he, nothing crazy about it either when it comes to that. I think people are sleeping on him. He's very fast. He can set up plays for himself or for others, and he was a part of both of them today, and it was huge because we needed it. But yeah, like I said, Klinger gets it. Honorable mention to Gurianov. Stars at 3-0, baby. I will talk to you after game 2 versus Detroit.